The airbender Aang learns from his mentor, the monk Gyatso, that he is the next avatar, a being who will bring balance to the four kingdoms. Weary of this responsibility, Aang flies on his sky bison Appa to clear his mind. The Fire Nation, led by Fire Lord Sozin, commences a genocide of the air nomads. Aang and Appa escape the massacre, but are caught in a storm and become frozen in an iceberg. 100 years later, the siblings Sokka and Katara of the Southern Water Tribe discover the duo and free them for the iceberg, attracting the attention of Prince Zuko of the Fire Nation, who has been sent by his estranged father, Fire Lord Ozai, on a quest to capture the long-lost Avatar. The Fire Nation confronts the Southern Water Tribe village, and Aang surrenders himself to save the lives of the villagers. Aboard Zuko's ship, Aang meets Zuko's uncle Iroh, and later escapes with the help of Katara and Sokka. Together with Appa, they travel to the abandoned Southern Air Temple, where Aang discovers the remains of his people, including Gyatso. After briefly entering the Avatar state, Aang resolves to bring balance to the world. Using a diary stolen from Zuko, Aang decides to visit Kyoshi Island, the home of Avatar Kyoshi. Meanwhile, Zuko and Iroh meet with Commander Zhao, a high-ranking officer in the Fire Nation Navy, who learns about the return of the Avatar from one of their crew. The two factions then compete to find the Avatar first, both hoping to gain the favor of the Fire Lord. Aang and his friends arrive on Kyoshi Island, where they are confronted by the Kyoshi warriors and their leader Suki. After learning that Aang is the Avatar, the villagers of the island then host the visitors. Sokka becomes close with Suki as she trains him to fight like a Kyoshi warrior. With the encouragement of Katara, Aang enters into the Avatar state and communes with Kyoshi, who briefs him about his duties and responsibilities as the Avatar and warns him of a future Fire Nation invasion of the Northern Water Tribe. As Fire Nation forces led by Zhao and Zuko converge on Kyoshi Island, Kyoshi possesses Aang and drives away the invaders. In the Fire Nation, Zuko's ambitious younger sister Azula foils a coup attempt against her father Ozai, currying his favor. Ozai receives a message from Zhao confirming that the Avatar is alive, and Azula sends Zhao a reply promising to help him and prevent her brother from regaining his honor. Aang and his friends travel to the Earth Kingdom city of Omashu, where they befriend Teo and his mechanist father Sai, who creates mechanical gliders for the king of Omashu. Katara spends time with Jet, leader of the freedom fighters, who are attempting to rid the city of Fire Nation spies. Zuko and Iroh infiltrate Omashu, intent on capturing Aang. After learning of the freedom fighters' plan to assassinate the king of Omashu, Aang and his friends stop them, but are attacked by Zuko. Aang fights with Zuko, who attracts the attention of Earth Kingdom soldiers after using firebending during their duel. Iroh creates a distraction that allows Zuko to escape, but the soldiers capture both him and Aang. Aang is brought before the elderly king in his palace and learns that he is Bumi, Aang's childhood friend. Angry that Aang had disappeared for a century, Bumi subjects him to a series of tests. Through Jet, Katara learns that Sai had been supplying Fire Nation spies with information to protect his son. Sokka tries to convince Sai to help expose the spies for the good of Omashu. Sokka and Katara then use a series of secret tunnels to reach Aang and encounter a troupe of singing minstrels and several badger moles along the way. Bumi forces Aang to duel him, but Aang refuses to fight back and reminds Bumi of their past friendship. Bumi forgives Aang and is inspired to join the fight against the Fire Nation after Sai exposes the Fire Nation spies before Aang and his friends leave the city. Meanwhile, Iroh is escorted away from Omashu by Earth Kingdom soldiers, but is reminded of his time as a Fire Nation general and the death of his son. Zuko soon rescues him, and the two head back to their ship. Zuko and Iroh enlist the services of the bounty hunter June to help them hunt down the Avatar. Azula convinces Ozai to grant Zhao more resources, and he is promoted to admiral. Continuing their journey, Aang and his friends visit a village where several villagers have disappeared into the spirit world. They are soon pulled into the spirit world and encounter Hei Bai, the vengeful spirit of a nearby forest that the Fire Nation had burned down. The group becomes separated, and Katara experiences a vision of when her mother was killed while keeping her hidden from the Fire Nation. Sokka briefly meets a friendly fox spirit before experiencing a vision of his father, chastising him for being a disappointment. Aang encounters the spirit Ko, the Face Stealer, who reveals that he was responsible for kidnapping the missing villagers and has taken Sokka and Katara captive as well. Aang escapes Ko and encounters the spirit of Gyatso, who advises him to seek out Avatar Roku, who had previously encountered Ko, so Aang can learn how to save his friends. In a series of flashbacks, Zuko insults a general's plan during a war meeting that involved sacrificing the 41st Division of Fire Nation soldiers. After Zuko refuses to participate in an Agni Kai duel against his father, Ozai exiles him as punishment. He gives Zuko command of a ship consisting of the previously doomed 41st Division and tasks him with finding the Avatar to lift his banishment and regain his honor. In the present, Aang travels to Crescent Island to commune with Avatar Roku so he can save his friends from Ko. However, he is discovered by the Fire Sages, but a defecting sage helps him enter the shrine. Aang communes with Roku, who tells him to trade Ko a statue that Roku had previously stolen from him. Before Aang can leave, he is captured by June and brought to Zuko's ship. Zhao arrives and takes Aang prisoner to deny Zuko. Aang is later rescued by a swordsman known as the Blue Spirit, and quickly discovers that he is Zuko in disguise. Aang then saves Zuko from Zhao's soldiers before escaping. Aang soon returns to the spirit world and trades Ko, the statue, freeing his friends and the captive villagers. Zhao attempts to kill Zuko by blowing up his boat and forces Iroh to help lead the invasion of the Northern Water Tribe. Zuko is later revealed to have survived by disguising himself as a guard. Ozai relentlessly tests Azula to prove her firebending abilities, and she impresses him after showing that she can generate lightning. Aang and his friends reach the Northern Water Tribe, where they are hosted by Chief Arnook and his daughter, Princess Yue. Aang warns Arnook about the impending Fire Nation invasion, but he remains unimpressed that Aang has only mastered one of the 4 elements. Sokka bonds with Yue, who informs him that she was the fox spirit he previously encountered due to her connection to the moon spirit. Aang visits the shrine of Avatar Kuruk to commune with him, but he remains reluctant to teach Aang and cautions him against becoming attached to his friends. Seeking to improve her waterbending, Katara requests that Master Pakku teach her to fight, but he refuses as women in his tribe do not fight due to tradition. Katara challenges Pakku to a duel, but despite Pakku winning, she inspires him to allow her to fight. A large Fire Nation fleet begins to lay siege to the Northern Water Tribe. Katara helps Pakku and Arnook defend the city, while Sokka protects Yue. Zhao briefs Iroh about his plan to kill the moon spirit to strip the waterbenders of their abilities. Zhao, Iroh, and a disguised Zuko then infiltrate the city amidst the invasion and reach the spirit oasis, where the moon and ocean spirits reside. Despite Iroh's objections, Zhao kills the moon spirit, giving the Fire Nation the upper hand in the battle. Aang enters the Avatar state and merges with the ocean spirit before rampaging through the city, attacking the Fire Nation's forces. Zhao attempts to kill Zuko in a duel, but is killed by Iroh, and they flee the battle together. Yue sacrifices herself to become the new moon spirit, allowing the waterbenders to regain their abilities and drive back the Fire Nation. Aang separates from the ocean spirit, and the Fire Nation retreats. In the aftermath, Aang decides that he must master the remaining 3 elements: water, earth, and fire. Meanwhile, Azula successfully invades Omashu and captures Bumi. Ozai learns that Sazan's comet, which greatly enhances a firebender's abilities, will soon be returning.